Good morning, my fellow yogic travelers. Mighty glad to be alive today, and I hope that you are too, as we continue to live, laugh, love, learn, linger, live the life we love. So, Happy New Year. Thanks for starting the new year off with me. I hope we make it together through this next year, bringing peace and light, compassion and love wherever we go. Wednesday's my bad joke day. So these two Jewish guys, Sam and Abe, they're always talking about whether or not there's an afterlife. So they make a vow, take an oath that whoever goes first, if it's possible, come back and let the other guy know what's going on. And so that's what happened. And Abe dies, and Sam is bereft, and he's going through his grief process. But, in these stories, it's a little time or a long time, whatever time it takes. But one day, Sam is sitting there by himself, and he hears a voice. Sam, Abe, is that you? Yes, unbelievable. You've come back from the other world. So, tell me, what's it like? Oh, you wouldn't believe it. I get up in the morning, I make love, I eat as much as I want, I go to sleep, I get up, and I repeat, make love, eat, sleep, all day long. He says, unbelievable, you're in heaven. I says, no, I'm a bull in Colorado. I guess that's the Jewish take on reincarnation there. So there's a teaching there if you pay attention. Anyway, all right. Journaling questions. I'm going to still do this format until I figure out a better one. So write about it. Elevate the conversation with those of you who are willing to talk about this, or talk to me. I'll always reply. What are you willing to die for? No one wants to die, I don't think. Abhinavesha in yoga, clinging to life, fear of death. But if you are willing to give up your life, a lot of people maybe say, oh, my kids, loved one, people. What about an ideal? Is there something worth dying for, like freedom or human dignity, honor? Let me know what you're thinking about, and I'll tell you what I'm thinking. All right, my yoga teaching, B.K. Iyengar, he reminds you that yoga is where you fight with your own energy against any disability. Whereas, of course, in medicine, they use external agents, whether it's big pharma, surgeries, drugs, injections to heal. But here in yoga, you use your own life force. And I hope that you can appreciate the vast arsenal of what yoga offers. It's a unique contribution that yoga makes to the modern world as well. And although it seems to have some renunciate values or things that you're not supposed to do because it messes you up so bad you can't stay in contact or be in tune, that negative approach is really a positive life orientation. Remember, it teaches you to look to the vastness and not have a narrow framework from which to look at things. And you got to do work on yourself. My social activists, Christian priests remind me, you got to awaken from the hibernating state, but you can't go out there until you're right. You got to do work on yourself. They say when the wrong person uses the right means work in the wrong way. As I often have quoted, Don Juan says to Carlos Castaneda, even if I give you the key to the secret of the universe, but you have no personal power, it wouldn't do you any good. So get on the same frequency and tune in with the universe. What is the universe? All that isn't me and me. That's organism and environment. They go together, don't they? Now, there's a wonderful story that my men's mentors, Michael Mead, introduced me to called The Firebird. And the first part is the only part I want to tell. You can look it up if you want. It has to do with a hunter who's on the road, and all of a sudden, he's riding a horse of power, and he comes across a burning feather. A burning feather. It's glowing. He knows immediately it's the feather of the fire. It's a feather from the breast of the firebird. No one has a feather like this. If I brought this feather to the king, he would definitely raise me in station. So he goes down off his horse to pick it up, and right before he does, the horse says to him, don't pick it up. If you pick it up, you will know fear. You will know trouble. And he stops for a second and thinks, who needs fear? Who needs trouble? Then again, he weighs it. But no one has this. The king would really definitely give me something in exchange. But you got to remember, the king may honor and reward you, but it can just as easily set up another test that puts your life at risk or cut off your head. So that's the question there when you understand in your life. Did you come across a crossroads where there was a burning feather? And did you pick it up? And what was it for you? And if you left it there, how did that change your life? It's an interesting question. Another one I'd like to hear about. Nonetheless, do the right thing. As my motivation teachers always say, go beyond fleeting achievement. Find your passion. Do what you love. Step forward with determination. Remember, the difference between try and triumph is oomph. That's determination. Sankalpa in yoga, your intention that you're going to do it. Pretty strong. You know you're going to make it happen. And now this is one of the things, in yoga they have the idea of the 7 chakras, each one being like a mini brain organizing a certain view of the world. And the second chakra in the pelvis, where they say the kundalini is lodged and stuck, is also the pleasure center for us. And this is not a simple or a comfortable discussion to have. You probably feel embarrassed by having it. But that's the one thing it's important to talk about, how we distinguish and merge sex and love. Yeah, lovemaking is spiritual coupling, no doubt about it. But so is maintenance sex. As Esther Perel often says, not every meal you have is a 5-meal course. Not every time you make love is wonderful and unbelievable and long-lasting. Sometimes there's maintenance sex, just like sometimes you have a common meal, nothing special. But they're both important in different ways. So, another topic of conversation, keep the conversations going. And then finally, my affirmation teaches what I remind you, that steady attention to anything is what makes it a dominant vibration in your life. There's a lot of things out there that we don't want, but you turn your attention away from that and put it on what you want. It's like having a well-stocked kitchen. You don't use all the spices. Some things are just not for the recipe, so you pick the ones that you want. Because the direction that you give your attention and the awareness of how you feel about what you're giving your attention to, that's the whole key of how things are going to turn out. So, affirmation for the new year, I choose a way, a new way, which is a better way for me and different than anyone else's way. As a result of that, may you have abounding interest and joy in life in 2025. Thanks for hanging with me.